All right, it is a day ending in Y, which means here at Spike Week we're drafting, and today we're drafting in the DraftKings Milly Maker and the Puppy 2. But we spin the wheel, and the wheel decides on Thursdays what our draft strategy is. Let's do it. All right, good morning. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Spike Week. I'm, of course, Erik Beimfohr, and today it is Thursday, which means we do a couple of best ball drafts, like you've probably seen just a few best ball drafts on youtube.com in your time, but with a small twist. We take in rules, recommendations from the Spike Week community. There is a link to the Discord in the description. That is where you can post some rule ideas for a draft. We have done several of these. We will do two more today. First, in the Puppy 2. We're going to start out in the Puppy 2, and then we're going to hop into the DraftKings Milly Maker. We will spin the wheel, which has a bunch of different rules on it. Some crazier things and some simpler things. Draft a 0 RB team, etc. And the wheel will decide what our plan of attack is. And we've had things as simple as, don't draft a wide receiver until round 7. And we've had things as difficult as you can't draft a player with the same first letter of the last name as any other player that you've drafted on this team, and everything there in between. So what happens today? I don't know. It's going to be up to the wheel. And yeah, Sizzle, we're going to do, what did I say first? Puppy 2. We're going to start in the Puppy 2. The folks have been requesting more of the puppies and schnauzers and all that kind of stuff, and then we're gonna hop into the DK Milly Maker. It is apparently DK Best Ball Week. News to me, but we'll dive into a little bit of that as well. Let's go ahead. That is the wrong screen. Let me tell you what. StreamYard making all these changes has really thrown a boomer like myself off here. I'm totally not prepared for all of the changes that have been happening. I've been thinking about recording. Pepper Tony says I'm obsessed with the rookie and sophomore drafts. I'm finalizing the rankings for rookies and sophomores, which you think would be just like, just grab your other rankings and put them in order, but it's a little bit different actually in the rookies and sophomores. So I've been thinking about recording something, rip a couple of drafts, edit it a little bit so it's not so not quite as boring, because it can be a little, the shorter drafts or whatever. But the people seem to like the rookies and sophomores, so I'm trying to force myself to dive into it. GM Mac, we're doing wonderful. It's beautiful outside, although we were up a little late with some thunderstorms last night, but it's worth it. It's beautiful out today, and we're drafting some best ball teams. What the hell could be worse? Waking up in your work is to talk about best ball and draft some best ball teams. Let's go ahead and pull up the wheel here. You see a bunch of the rules here, and one of them will decide what chaos, as Versaire says, what chaos is to come here in this puppy draft. Let's see it. Oh no. Here we go. We're back home. We're back in our sweet spot here at Spike Week. Draft an extreme 0 running back team. No running backs until round 10. No running backs until round 10 in the Puppy 2. That's what we're going to do here. This one's, I just enjoy these teams. Honestly, yeah. This is an easy one for you. Versaire says, Pepper Tony, oh no, a 0 RB team. What a punishment. Full disclosure, it's not supposed to be a punishment for me. I understand that a lot of these have turned out to be punishment for me, including just woefully screwing up the 40 times. One, so much so that I had to eat hot dogs as punishment, but they're not all supposed to be punishment. They're supposed to be like interesting exercises that could be thought provoking, right? That's the whole premise. It's kind of like, oh, that's interesting. When you like, if you just watch one of these shows on Thursdays and you get that one thing where you're like, oh, interesting. Hadn't thought about that. And like, or if I selfishly, if I get the, that was cool. I didn't think about that until that draft. That's the goal. Not for me to be fucking miserable, sweating, cursing more than I already do, and drafting shitty teams. Is not the general plan of attack here on Thursdays. Though it does happen. It does happen. Sizzle says, where can I add a rule to the wheel in the Discord? Yeah, again, obviously, the Discord link is in the description. It is free to join. The overwhelming majority, like where all the conversation happens, is of course behind the paywall, which is either $5 a month or you get it for free if you are a Spike Week subscriber. But anyone can add a rule to the wheel. You do not have to be a paid member if you go to the live streams and media channel. So go to the live streams and media channel, type in a rule idea there, and I will add it, assuming it's appropriate. I get final say on what is appropriate, and I will add it to the wheel. Tikasaurus made it. Marie, good morning. Good morning. Fair. This is very fair. This is more than fair. Who Hames says, how long have you been on the internet? Expecting to ask for people to give you a challenge and them not be all punishments seems silly when you put it like that. when you put it like that, yeah, you're right. You're right. Oh, good question. Pepper Tony says 49 days until the NFL season. How are we pacing on drafts? I still have 100 BBMs. I believe I have 98 BBMs, 100. So I've done 500 and something total, but I did a lot of the Superflex. I did, the mini Schnauzer and this and a bunch of DraftKings stuff and 100 and something or whatever of the drafters $2. So I haven't been doing a ton. I'm about 1/3 of the way through. We're on the clock here. Oh, who doesn't love the Nico BTJ 1-2 turn combo here when your rule is? I guess I should add the rule to the stream, huh? Extreme 0 RB. But I'm pacing about like a 33% done or so on like on the DraftKings and the Underdog mains. I definitely am going to be picking up the pace, but I already I kind of planned ahead for the pace of the summer, and I wanted kind of through until like training camp now, essentially, to like let's not overboard ourselves at the very start of the summer. Let's maintain our sanity for a while, do a bunch of slows, and don't go absolutely crazy. But I'm about to pick up the pace now for sure. The interesting thing about the 0 running back is this was 2 years ago, made the Best Ball Mania final, finished 12th, and my team was this exact rule. Do not draft a running back until round 10. I did this by myself. My first running back was Antonio Gibson on the New England Patriots. And he was terrible. And he was the first running back I drafted on a team that finished 12th in Best Ball Mania. Notably, my quarterback too. So if you wanted an example of a team that was extremely close to winning Best Ball Mania, this is the year that CeeDee Lamb, went for 50 or whatever in the final. I did not have CeeDee Lamb. My second round pick was Jalen Waddle. I had Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jalen Waddle at the 1-2 turn. Jalen Waddle did not play in week 17, and I did not have CeeDee Lamb, the chalky first-round pick who went for 50, and I got 12th. I also had Kenny Pickett as my quarterback too. If you recall, he got benched, and Cole Turner was my tight end too, next to Sam Laporta. Cole Turner, notably, did absolutely nothing. And I drafted an extreme zero running back team. No one until round 10 and got 12th. So anyone that tells you you can't win without 3 quarterbacks or 3 tight ends, you can't win drafting zero running back, you can't win drafting extreme zero running back, au contraire, I promise that you can. In the description, there is in the description of this video, there is a link to the Discord. Jefferson Bowers start for Tikasaurus. It's pretty good. You always feel good about Jefferson Bowers. JSN, this is nice. This is a nice. I can't believe JSN has kind of fallen this much, but JSN George Kittle on an extreme zero running back team. What a gift. What a gift. Nico Collins, Brian Thomas, Jackson Smith and Jigba, and George Kittle to start for me. Let's see. Started JJ from the 102, Brock Bowers, Tyreek Hill for Tikasaurus. I love it. Kittle is a cheat code at ADP, says Versaire. I am with you. JSN price seems to be heading to the end of round 3, which is more palatable. Yeah, I feel the same. I think if you saw, if you're watching, I have like 5% JSN on Underdog. I have more on DraftKings, a little bit more on Drafters. I think naturally, right? JSN is a very he's one of the better examples of a difference of a pricier guy where PPR really impacts how or where we should value him. It's not that he's bad on Underdog. I'm not saying that, but I think that the price is getting to the point where I don't think I care that much about that. We're getting into the range, right? So after him now, I like T-Mac, Tet McMillan a lot. But at now, in this draft, JSN going 36th overall. Once we get past him, you're in DJ Moore, who I like fine, T-Mac, right? DK Metcalf, Xavier Worthy, Jameson Williams. You're into a different tier of wide receiver than Tyreek, Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, etc. Off to work at the golf course. Someone has to do it. We'll watch on YouTube and comment later. Have a great day, everyone. Get Shipley, says Bruce. Shipley will be a good fit for a extreme zero running back team. Huham says Kittle was a cheat code at the 4-5 turn. It's semi-fair. Now it's semi-fair in my the only I think this is a fair comment. The only like counter I would have to this is I don't think it matters. 3-4 turn versus 4-5 turn is just who you get them within the first 2 rounds. It's just like what side of the board does he go on? Is the only tangible difference in this is literally, are you drafting him with Jamar Chase and Rushy and not Rushy Rice? Let's see, Jamar Chase and Trey McBride and T Higgins and those guys on the left side of the board, or are you drafting them with Nico Collins and BTJ and Neighbors and Puka and that? Like, are you drafting them on the right side of the board? That's like the only tangible difference. You're not wrong in that. I do feel a lot better about the guys I draft him next to at the 4-5 turn, and sometimes the guys you get him with at the 4-5 turn, right? The way the team comes together, but it's not a big deal. It's not a huge deal. It's kind of how I would think about it. Back on the clock. Let's put Rome in the queue because we need to make sure we draft wide receivers. dang, I really don't love Rome, but I think this is a reasonable spot to get him. Let's do Chris Godwin. I've been like sort of cooling. I'm not cooling like my take on Chris Godwin. My take and my ranking and all that kind of stuff has not really changed on Godwin, but I was drafting him like absolute crazy to start the summer. The price has not totally gone with me. It's kind of lingering. Godwin's price is just lingering in the sixth round or so. But I've just been spreading things out a little bit, awaiting a little bit more news on Chris Godwin. Though the reports seem pretty good, but now we'll get to training camp here and we'll get a much better idea about what's going on with Chris Godwin, how he's feeling, how he's looking, week 1 availability, and all that. Exactly. I love the phrase lingering. It fucking lingers, man. If anybody can state what other than Peppertoni, what movie that comes from, you'll notice I speak very much in movie quotes, TV quotes, like pop culture quotes, music lyrics and quotes and stuff. It's a lot of that. Around these parts. I'm a very unoriginal man. We speak in references, analogies, metaphors, and quotes. Better be looking to grab Sampson around 140 ADP. Sampson's a pretty good pick on an extreme zero running back team as well. Yeah, if I'm interested in Judkins, I can get a nice price on him. Exactly. Pineapple Express. Just watched it again the other day. Not watched, but I had it on in the background. Pineapple Express. It's a good one. You know what I just recently tried to get into, and it was fine. There's definitely some humorous parts to it, but the studio. Speaking of Seth Rogen, the studio on Apple TV was like interesting, and like I said, there's definitely some funny parts to it, but it was not. I don't know. It was just okay. I wasn't like in love. I thought. I guess I thought the story might be a little bit different than what it was. Because I thought it would be cool to see the behind the scenes of the, a studio head and running around and trying to get movies made and everything in Hollywood. That sounds right up my alley. But it was just okay. So I guess maybe a little disappointing. But not anything crazy. So for anyone that is joining, we cannot select a running back until round 10 in this draft. That is the rule. Every Thursday, we do some drafts, but we get a little bit of a push in a certain direction based on the wheel of rules populated by the Spike Week folks. Downs, Mooney. I could do Egbuka. Baker. That's interesting. Let's do Egbuka for sure. Let's do, yeah. You know what? I don't do this Baker, Godwin, Egbuka stack enough. That seems like a nice way to navigate this little rule here. I do prefer on the extreme zero running back teams. I do prefer elite tight end and elite quarterback if I can make it happen. Doesn't have to, doesn't have to be that way. But I do, because I know I'm going to need at least 7 running backs. I don't even hate 8. So when I think about what I'm going to need on an extreme zero running back team, a shitload of running backs, because I waited until very late to draft them, right? My thinking in like an auction dollar framing, my highest dollar running back is like $5, $7, something like that. So I'm going to draft a bunch of them. I'm going to take a bunch of flyers on $1 and $2 and $3 running backs. So I want a bunch. if I need a bunch of those running backs, I would like to beef up every other spot on my roster. And so just thinking, I frankly think these teams are really, really good and really, really underutilized. It's going to inspire me to do a bunch more extreme zero running back teams today, I think. Have you watched the behind-the-scene audition stuff on Superbad? Hearing Seth laugh in the background during auditions is infectious. Can't help but laugh along. Yeah, that the whole story of Superbad and the behind-the-scenes stuff is phenomenal. Seth Rogen hating the guy, what's his name, who played McLovin. Like they or was it Jonah Hill hated him? Whatever. Like they didn't get along, and then now they do. They're fine, whatever. But it was there's a lot of cool behind-the-scenes stuff. Superbad. I mean, just like how it got made, how it came to be. It was Jonah. Yeah, Jonah hated him. Why, Dad? GM, I see that you rigged the wheel. Not this time. Not this time. I wish though. It worked out quite well. Today's going to be a good day. If the wheel pulls up extreme zero RB, it's going to be a good day. For sure. About to come back up so far through 8. So I have to make one more non-running back selection. Nico, BTJ, JSN, George Kittle, Rome Odunze, Chris Godwin, Egbuka, Baker. The nice little Bucs. 1, 2, 3 Bucs in a row to stack up there. Let's see here. Man, the Dobbins price thing is getting frustrating because I really would have liked him as the RB1 on this team. I don't hate the idea of Tyrone Tracy RB1. I'm going to take Caleb, though. Stack Caleb with Rome. Gets me double quarterback. Done. Knocked out. Both stacked. I'm going to wait for tight end because I can take Loveland later. I really never take Tracy. So I think he's an interesting fit as the first running back on this extreme zero RB build. So through 10 rounds, of course, 10 is the round I can start taking running backs. Tyrone Tracy kicks off the running backs. Done at quarterback, got the elite tight end, and I have 6 wide receivers. I know people are looking at this and just hating every second of it if you like the running backs, but let me tell you, this is my sweet spot. This is my home. This is where I feel the coziest and the most comfortable. First Air still loves Najee. Chris, oh boy, what's your top 3 favorite movies of all time? Man, I know this is supposed to be a question that everybody has thought about and everybody has the answer to. I don't. Pulp Fiction, The Departed, so you can kind of see my vibe. Pulp Fiction, The Departed. I'm going to think about number 3. Pulp Fiction and The Departed are for sure in my top 3. I don't know whether I want to include like a silly comedy that I enjoy the most, or another one of like. See, this is such a painful question. I'm pleading the fifth for the moment on the third movie. Yeah. Najee getting treatment at Stanford seems not ideal. Pepper Tony says we're going to find out he doesn't have an eye soon. It's a very good. The news coming out with Najee being like he's fine. I just wish everyone would like. It's impossible to understand most news snippets that we get nowadays anyway, because they're like shaded by the agents or shaded by the teams, and it's so frustrating because it's like dude, this isn't like an ankle sprain where, like, exact health on an ankle sprain. Where are you in the recovery process? Exactly how severe was it? Is not a totally locked in type of thing, right? A hamstring pull. They have different grades and all that kind of stuff, but there's nuance and none of them are ever the same. It's like he has an eye injury. I'm not saying that there isn't nuance to an eye injury, but generally, like, does he need to lose the eye? Like, be specific about what the problem. Don't come out and tell me he's fine. He's going to be fine. They expect him to be fine. And then send him to fucking Stanford to get looked at. Like I'm not supposed to, like, raise an eyebrow. Like, oh my gosh, that doesn't seem great. That doesn't seem very good. Can we just get the, yeah, Eric Dickerson used to have to wear special glasses to play. Peppertoni says, in medical terms, superficial can absolutely mean loss of fingers or an eye. That's the thing. It's a superficial injury, and that's not making me feel better. It might be making me feel worse. Oh, damn. Who took Loveland? I'm going to take Facial Tootin here. I'm down for some Ray Davis, just picking off running backs. I feel like Ray Davis, we're sick of talking about Facial Tootin. Nobody cares anymore. He was all the rage at the start of the summer. Now Travis Etienne is going at pick 100, and Tootin is down here in the 130s. That's interesting. Ray Davis, of course, has risen up notably because of the James Cook contract issues. But I feel like Ray Davis is one of those guys. It's also just a really good pick in this range. Can he take on more work in his? He was solid as a rookie in the times that we did see him. When James Cook missed the game, we saw them put the whole workload on Ray Davis's shoulders, which is really ideal. Can he take some more? Even when we assume the James Cook thing won't be an issue. When that all gets situated, are the Bills going to be planning for a future without James Cook? Are they going to be planning for Ray Davis to be the future? I don't know, but I think that there's more upside to Ray Davis. That's not just contingent value, and that's sort of priced in here. But I think it's easy for him to get lost in the shuffle because there's just not anything that's been relevant about him in a while. Next turn, Sampson and Blue. Depends on who's all in this room. If Sampson even gets, there goes Blue. Tikasaurus. See, can't land the plane when you take Jaden Blue in the 13th round. I'm mostly kidding. At least we're slowly getting to prices on Jaden Blue that we're mostly getting to prices finally on Jaden Blue that I think are like closer to acceptable. He's still in a range. Like Jaden Blue before Tyler Algier is hilarious. Objectively hilarious. One guy may just be a kick returner. The other guy is a stone cold league winner with one injury and useful without an injury. Like if Jaden Blue becomes what Tyler Algier is, that's a win. And Jaden Blue goes ahead of Tyler Algier. Too funny. Are you in on Sampson? Browns will probably score 5 rushing touchdowns total. Thought Judkins was overpriced before. Yeah, I'm definitely in on Dylan Sampson. The Browns will probably be bad, but even the single worst offenses in the league provide, like, if I can get cheap running back production out of even the most, including the Browns last year, Jerome Ford was totally useful. Right? Chuba Hubbard was on one of the worst offenses in the NFL. Breece Hall, the year he had his biggest year with the Jets, that was Zach Wilson and the disaster that is the New York Jets. When it comes to talented young backs and cheap running back prices, I just don't really care about the offensive situation. I think everybody else cares very, very much, and I do not. So speaking of, Dang, did he go? Oh no, he's right there. I'm gonna take Algier, and then I'm gonna go get Dylan Sampson on this team. This is true. Knowing ADP doesn't really matter even at like 140, but Sampson getting big steam doesn't feel good even with uncertainty. Yeah, but like big steam from the 17th round to the right. He was going in the 7th, let's call it the 17th, and now he goes in the 14th. Like there's a difference between big steam crossing a whole bunch of tiers, crossing a whole bunch of right, going from a $1 auction player to a $15 auction player that's like major, right? Going from a $1 player to a $2 player, like who cares? Because think about it from a straight practical sense of who's on the teams. So if you took him in the 17th, right, even the 18th, and now we look at the 14th. Okay, let's say you took a running back in the 14th, and then you took Sampson at the end of the draft, and then let's flip them and see the 2v2. Okay, so you got Jalen Wright in the 14th round, and then in the 17th or 18th, you got Dylan Sampson. Instead, you took Dylan Sampson in the 14th round, and in the 18th, you get what? Jarquez Hunter. Pick your favorite rookie back. One of the backup, Keaton Mitchell. Let's just look really quickly at ADPs and stop me naming all my favorite last round guys. Brashard Smith, Sean Tucker, like, I don't know. Marshawn Lloyd. Could one of those guys outperform a Jalen Wright or let's see, who else? Tank Bigsby. We swap receivers. Pat Bryant goes there. Could one of the other Broncos wide receivers outscore Pat Bryant? Of course. Pop Douglas. Do we really care about Pop Douglas and Josh Palmer, Jonnu Smith? It's just a 2v2 of really, it doesn't matter. But if we get into a range that is like significantly different, if we start to move into a range with, Tajay, Najee, Javonte, Tootin, those guys, I think the conversation starts to be a little bit more different. But I'm personally trying to buy Sampson until, I'm willing to. He was probably too cheap anyway, Dylan Sampson. So I'm going to buy him up to what a price that I feel comfortable with. I have him ranked in the 140s. Full transparency. Another one of my favorite phrases. You can chase him up there if you would like. I think, and that's reasonable. Once we get out ahead of there, again, that goes ahead of the Algiers and stuff like that. Starts to become a little bit trickier. Sick. Get Diami up. Dowdle, Diami. This is beautiful. This is roses right here. We're gonna get a little 2-7-7-2 action. Get my guy Diami on the team, get a secondary Jaguar stack. Of course, notably, I have Brian Thomas Jr. on this team. So even though I don't have Trevor Lawrence, gives me a Bear stack, gives me a Bucs stack, and gives me a secondary Jaguar stack. Of course, also having Bashal Tootin. So through 16 rounds, Nico Collins, Brian Thomas Jr., Jackson Smith-Njigba, George Kittle, Rome Odunze, Chris Godwin, Emeka Egbuka, Baker Mayfield for the Bucs stack, Caleb Williams for the Bears stack. Then we got into our running backs. Tyrone Tracy, Bashal Tootin, Ray Davis, Tyler Algier, Dylan Sampson, and Rico Dowdle. And then we closed out wide receiver with Dyami Brown. We will hit some more running backs or another running back here. And a tight end. I think this is where people, scoff at things like solo elite tight end, solo elite quarterback. And I don't really think that they are necessary. When most of our opponents are drafting 3 quarterbacks or 3 tight ends, it's sufficient to draft just 2 at the position and be different. Even with the elites, our opponents are very into drafting even on Underdog in 18 rounds, drafting 3 quarterbacks or 3 tight ends, even with the elites. So if you would like to be a little bit different, it's sufficient enough to just draft 2. But sometimes my number one goal, and I'm going to keep saying this like all summer, is to win the flex. While our opponents are trying to raise their total point scoring floors by shielding risk at quarterback and at tight end, I'm trying to embrace the risk at quarterback and tight end and win the flex, because winning the flex means I'm winning 2 running back positions, 3 wide receiver positions, and a flex position. That's 6 spots in my lineup. I think I can differentiate enough point scoring wise at those 6 spots that even if quarterback and tight end do not go perfectly for me, including in the playoff weeks, I think I can still win. So that is my full-on goal. If I reach the point late in a draft like this, and I have a George Kittle, I have a Trey McBride, I have a Brock Bowers, and I truly, really do feel uncomfortable with my running backs, like I pushed it too far, I drafted too many backups or too many rookies or whatever, this would be the time I would consider a small dabble into a solo elite tight end. That's kind of my general plan of attack for this year. Everything is about winning the flex for me. And so if I don't feel comfortable that I'm winning the flex, the thing is the tight end can technically help you in the flex. So it's more difficult for the quarterback is probably a greater conversation because I don't want the tight end helping me in the flex. That means I'm not scoring very many points. If the tight end is hitting the flex, if the lowest scoring position, especially a late one, at 17th or 18th round tight end is hitting the flex for me, it's probably a very bad sign. But it's, this is kind of how I'm thinking about it, especially extreme 0 running back teams like this. How does it work once I get to the later rounds? That informs my, right? Instead of taking what I think the best roster construction is not roster construction. Instead of taking what I think the best positional allocation is, right? 3 quarterbacks or 2. It's like, well, it depends on your team. That the answer is always it depends on your team. I'm definitely going to get Harold Fannin on this team. We have Dylan Sampson. Get a little secondary. Now we need a running back. This is I don't take much DJ Giddens, but this is a goddamn good DJ Giddens team. We got the Jag stack. Look at this. Correlates JSN in week 15. Who do I have from San Francisco? Oh, Jesus. Kittle in week 16. And my Jaguars stack in week 17. DJ Giddens. Slam dunk to the podium. Love it. God bless. God bless the draft hacker. God bless the United States of America. God bless underdog drafters. Let's run this team down really quick. One final time. And then we'll hit some comments. We'll spin the wheel again, and we will draft a DK Milly Maker team with whatever the heck rule is about to pop up here. But we drafted based on the rule of extreme 0 running back. Do not draft a running back until round 10 was the rule that I had to follow today. And luckily, the 1-2 turn just feeds you into 0 running back teams. So it is a gift from the best ball gods this morning with extreme 0 running back that we got the 112. I think if you forced me to pick a draft slot, like what's your favorite draft slot this year, it would be the 112. I'm just always going to get 2 studs that I love. And Nico and BTJ are probably the 2 that I love. Assuming Puka or Neighbors doesn't fall to the 1-2 turn, this is probably my ideal start between these 2 guys. Get JSN to fall as well, and then take George Kittle, of course, the elite tight end. We talked about that before. Rome, Godwin, Egbuka, Baker, Caleb, Tyrone Tracy, Bashal Tootin, Ray Davis, Tyler Algier, Dylan Sampson, Rico Dowdle, De'Ami Brown, Harold Fannin, and DJ Giddens. I love it. I'm very into this team. We got the week 17 stuff. George Kittle, Rome Odunze, and Caleb Williams in that game. We have no Dolphins bringbacks to our Bucs stack, but we got secondary Browns correlations. Let me tell you what, if there's anything that's going to win a best ball tournament, it's the Dylan Sampson, Harold Fannin secondary correlation. That is for sure. And of course, the DJ Giddens bring back to Jags players and the Rico Dowdle JSN correlation. Those are just absolute slam dunk, no brainer week 17 winners. This is definitely true. Pepper Tony says, it depends is a universal truth. I think that's like my biggest pushback on any form of best ball strategy, including ones that I have discussed myself, is everybody wants human nature is wanting a shortcut. Give me the answer. I don't want to have to think when I get in the drafts. I just want to know, shoot, I only have one quarterback by this point. I need to make sure I get to X, right? Give me milestones to try to achieve with my rosters. How many quarterbacks, how many running backs, how many wide receivers, how many tight ends, right? Do I stack or no? Do I correlate with this? Do I do this? How far do I reach? Right? People want rules, want structure. We don't want to have to think about on this team, it's actually really good if you reach by 14 picks. It's actually really good. On this team, it's actually great if you only draft 2 tight ends. It's much better than drafting 3, even though at a high level, we may say it's better to draft X amount of each position. But on each team, that is different. The what is best is different based on how you put those players together, how your room went, what your opponents did, that contest, all that different stuff plays into it. And so I struggle to answer those questions that you often see from or hear from folks. But that's like my general strategy. All right, we are going to draft a DK Milly Maker team. Today's promo for DraftKings was I can pull it up right now. Hold on, I just opted into it right before. This one. Opt in and enter into the Milly Maker. Shout out to me. That's what I'm going to do. And you earn 2 $3 tickets so you get 2 tickets into the $3 for every Milly team you draft today, up to 3 times. So you can get $6 back on a $20 entry. It's a pretty good deal. I'll take it. This is the kind of team that gets me going on a Thursday morning, says Mac. You and me both, brother. I'm excited. We're headed to the gym after this, and we're going to get a serious fucking lift on after drafting that absurd 0 running back team that I just drafted. DeMad Bowler says, love the 12 and getting Achane there most of the time. Yeah, Achane is a great pick. There, especially on these PPR sites like we're about to draft on DraftKings. I'm into Achane. I'm not, I'm a 0 running back bro, but I'm not fading Achane. He's basically a goddamn wide receiver with all those passes that he catches. So how could a 0 running back bro hate Devon Achane? Let's spin the wheel and see what rule we're going to have here for this DK draft. Oh, Jesus. If you wanted something serious, I hope you enjoyed the 0 running back draft because this might be a little tricky, especially with the rookies. I don't know the rookies' numbers very well. I'm not incredibly awesome with the jersey numbers. So the rule for the audio listeners is, in this DraftKings Milly Maker, I cannot draft multiple players with the same jersey number. So this will be. Do they have the? Let's just enter. Let's just enter and find out. We're drafting in the Milly. That way we can get our free. Tickets. This is is Scat wearing whatever absurd number that he wears? Oh God, I'm already back on the clock in all these slows. Oh no, am I at the turn? Okay, that's not bad. 44. Yeah. Man, this one is tough. The Mad Bowler says, "Yeah, I am with you." This one is not going to be simple. Yeah, Golden is wearing 22, so we gotta get these dum-dums in our brains here. Do they have? So yeah, I need to see. Okay, they have their number on here. This is huge. Shout out DraftKings, huge. Yeah, wide receivers. I think that makes. As I think about this, I think this makes for a good 0 running back team as well, because I can I can kind of lock in on the position. Find a couple funky ones. Yeah, Shaheed does too. It really is. But being, yeah, this is the most uncomfortable I felt. I think I felt less uncomfortable with the alphabet one. And that was hard. That was straight up difficult. Same or different first letter of the last name for every player was very difficult. But this one feels rough. OM Godlike says, no, why are you next to me? You're fine, dude. I have to draft players with the I have to draft all players with different jersey numbers. Let's get that up on the screen. Yeah, I'm nervous. It's getting sweaty over here. Yeah, this is shout out. Good call, Shuby. If I go over here and I put notes in, this is actually a great shout. I'm gonna type in the jersey numbers I have used into the notes tab. If you have the draft hacker, you see over here, there's this Dealamabobber. So you can see all your the different teams and the correlations there. You can see the week 17 and the playoff correlations. You can see draft capital and ownership combinations, right? You can see all this different stuff. But for this draft, you can also take notes. I find the notes to be good, honestly, for slow drafts. If you're into slow drafts like me, which I'm not really into them, they are a necessary evil for everything I'm trying to accomplish this summer, touching grass and drafting 1,500 best ball teams. No big deal. If you're trying to use slows to accomplish some of your goals, if you type the notes in, they will save. Right? You click this save button down here. They will save when you come back to the slow draft. So you can like, hey, dum, you were trying to set up a Panther stack on this team or whatever, right? Like type the note in. You'll when you come back, you will be able to remind yourself of what you were trying to do. Oh, no, not CMC. 14 doesn't feel. See, this is where 12 does seem okay. Yeah, Benny says CMC is a big win, but I'm sorry. It maybe if he comes back to me. Okay, so Nico 12. Okay, we took jersey number 12. This is a great take, actually. Just draft pairs of teammates. They can't have the same number. See? Another great thing that you learn from these silly wheel drafts that you're like, wait, I could lean into the secondary correlations here on this team. Okay, I should have paid a little more attention. What's London's number? 5 seems okay. Maybe the wide receivers aren't as bad as I thought. 15 for Ladd seems fine. 11 for I think the wide receiver is not bad now that they're from 0. I'm not so worried about the wide receivers. I think I'm a little more worried about the running backs now, as I think about it. Let's see. I also only have 9% Drake London and 8% with Nico. So let's do that. Let's do that now. I like it. 12 and 5. All right, we got 2 numbers. Yeah. Isn't that interesting? Wide receivers used to only wear 80s. Now it's all 0 to 19 or whatever. They all wears, which I mean is much swaggier. 80s. Jerseys in the 80s don't look cool at all. But the single digit numbers look badass. And the team numbers in the team, 10 to 19 are badass. That's hilarious. Benny says Lamb is 88. Pepper Tony says Lamb was forced to wear to wear 88. That's hilarious. It's okay. I don't mind. Oh, I'm godlike. You don't got to give me time. Defeats the purpose. The other thing I love doing these drafts for is like still getting like I'm still like getting my guys and like getting good teams, but like with this weird kind of foundation, right? You're getting there, you're navigating to good teams that you wouldn't normally draft, but you're getting there and you took the scenic route, right? You went sightseeing for this jersey number bullshit, but you had a great time and it was worth, it was worth the trip. It was worth the investment, but you just took a little bit of an alternate route to get there. We didn't have to, well, the data says this guy is the best pick and his yards per route run was this. And my model says this. And it's like, come on, guys. When it is time to get a QB, you might run to an issue with a wide receiver. That's true. That is true. If I was a wide receiver, I would want the same jersey number as Moss or Rice or T.O. It's interesting. A lot of guys would tell you they don't want the same jersey number as those guys. Want to create their own legend. If you have the same number as Jerry Rice, it's always going to be Jerry Rice's number. If you wear 84, you are wearing Randy Moss's jersey, not your own, or number, not your own. You can't draft Shador. He's wearing number 12. Oh, shucks. Can't draft the QB4 on the Cleveland Browns. Terrible. That stinks. Whatever will I do? Must have been 2019, but I remember someone asked the best wide receiver with a number in the 80s currently, and it was Jarvis Landry. That's great. Now it's, of course, CeeDee Lamb. But, okay. What's JSN, 11? Yeah. Yeah, you ain't kidding. The difficult part of this is going to be quarterbacks. That's so interesting. That's so interesting because the quarterback and wide receiver overlap is crazy. I actually don't think, running back might get a little bit tricky too. 17. Terry is 17. Evans is 13. Here, how about this? Let's lock in. I know I'm just locking in George Kittle because I also want to have I want to limit. I'm trying to limit the amount of receiver-ish type guys that I select, and the tight ends. Taking George Kittle now, I know that I'll only draft two tight ends, and 87 seems fine. I was very worried about the receiver numbers at first for the exact wrong reason here. I really thought it would be more difficult in the 80s, but now if I can get a guy in the 80s and knock that one off. 85. Yeah, I don't know why I just typed 87. Thank you. Brain is mush. I'm too excited for drafting all these 0 RB teams this morning. I'm kind of bad at it too. It's so interesting because Bernie says I'm so bad at knowing player jersey numbers, and it's kind of fascinating. Okay, I think I will just take Devontae. DJ Moore's number 2, though. That one feels good. I'm trying to think about if there's any quarterbacks that were number 2. I don't have enough. Let's do DJ Moore. Okay, so we got 2. We got 12, 5, 85, and 2. so far with Nico, London, Kittle. And I really have been trying to get, it's interesting. I must have a bias against the number 2 because I'm trying to get more DJ Moore, and I just hasn't been happening so far. Yeah, DJ MS2J. Exactly. I'm trying to think of in the court. Now all I can think about is I'll be fine at receiver. I want to make sure my quarterbacks I don't screw myself on the quarterbacks. Yeah, Caleb is 1. You don't think of Isaac Bruce at all for 80 wide receivers? Of course I do. I think of Isaac Bruce for sure. No, Love wears 10. See, I couldn't remember 10. But I can remember, we did Monday nights, myself and Rob Coakley here at Spike Week do a show called The Best Ball Basement. It's at 7 p.m. Eastern on Monday nights, where we kind of we definitely talk best ball, we talk football, and we talk non-football related stuff. We did the best player at each jersey number from 0 to 99. And I can remember the nostalgic guys. I can remember lots of St. Louis players, of course, but lots of guys who played for the teams that I like, lots of my favorite players. Like 55, I'm like white chocolate, boom. Right? Like you're like those. I remember the stuff from like growing up or like my favorite players or my favorite teams. But the current players, I don't remember. Like I'm finding very quickly, we're into round 5, that I don't know the numbers of the current players that well, like at all. Like I'm staring at this board right now and I'm like, okay, I know Devontae at 17. Kyron is 23. James Cook has a funny number, doesn't he? 30 something. Maybe I should have taken James Cook. I have no idea what number T-Mac is going to wear in the NFL. Devontae Smith is 5? 6. Damn it. At least I knew it was a single digit. See, Brees is 23 also. 20. See, I don't know the current players at all. Yeah. Benny says, I can name where dudes went to college from 100%. Like, ask me like an obscure player. I bet I know where he went to college from the older days. But I do know the new guys' colleges. But the new guys' jersey numbers, no idea. No idea. This is a good one. What number is Pickens wearing for? Is he in the 80s? 3. Because I would really like to draft George Pickens on this team. Let's see if what's Zay? 1? 4. Waddle 17. Haha. Damn it. Connor's got a single digit number 2. I don't want to take. What's Travis Hunter wearing? 12. I can't even take Travis Hunter. What about 32? Feels good for TreVeyon, but it's really hard for me to pass on Zay Flowers here. No, let's do 32. Let's do TreVeyon. Four has no swag. It was my hockey number, and I'll still admit it. Admitting, that's how you know you really believe a take, is if it embarrasses you. You wore number 4 and you're fully admitting it's a swagless. It's a swagless number. I wore 3 in high school in both football and basketball. I wore 3 in high school, and then in college I wore 13. So I'm a 13 or 3 guy. Eight. I like 8. Shout out Kobe. Okay, I do need to pay attention here. Yeah, the Connor thing is very annoying. What's Rome's number? 15. Is this going to be... it's Bears Day. Let's do Rome. I need to go, and then I need to go get Caleb in the queue. It's Bears Day. Bears Caleb Stack Day at Spike Week. It requires some silly rules to force me into stacking Caleb Williams, I guess is what I've learned here. And of course, the rule is that I cannot draft a player with the same jersey number as any other player that I have drafted. So far, Nico, Drake London, George Kittle, DJ Moore, TreVeyon Henderson, and Rome Odunze. I wore 87 freshman, sophomore year, and I wore 7 senior, junior year. See, that's the natural progression, I think, for most people. Go from like a traditional number to a swaggier number as they get older. And like more, right, you probably had a more prominent place on the team. You're older, you're senior, you're a starter or a captain or whatever. And you go from like whatever number that, you show up the first day and they're like, what position do you play? Oh, you play wide receiver. Here's 87. And then junior, senior year, they're like, what number do you want? And you get the swaggier numbers. I coached high school football for a few years, been to Jersey handout day and all that kind of stuff. And oh boy, this is exactly what I remembered, with everybody fighting over jersey numbers and such. Oh, that's brutal. Mac wore 3 and 13 in high school and 33 in college. 33, not a fan. Sorry, Mac. I love you, but not a fan. As much as I clearly like the 3s. 33 is where I draw the line on acceptable. It's just like a boring ass running back number. 33 is. I remember Pepper Tony says I still get torn up about Kobe. Sports fans of our generation, that was such a crazy thing. I mean, it's definitely like the way that it happened. It's one thing, for somebody to pass, right? And you guys know this, but it's unfortunately people pass away. that is life, and it sucks and it's sad when it's an influential person, blah blah blah. But in a helicopter accident, and the family, his family, the other families, the kids, like, not trying to make it doom and gloom, but I remember it was Sunday morning. Was it Sunday morning or Saturday morning that it happened? I can't remember. Either way, we go to we always get season tickets to the St. Louis Billikens basketball. My wife went to SLU. She has somehow morphed me into, like, I'm obsessed. I follow the team religiously. It's like if there's a team where I'm like fully invested, like super fan, it is St. Louis Billikens basketball. I understand that's silly, but I love college basketball. I love the like underdog and the like mid-major trying to make it to the tournament, upset the big boys, all that kind of stuff. I love that. And SLU is like a pretty good mid-major. So they fit this bucket. All right, we're back on the clock. So let's pay attention here really quickly. Ooh, I'm going to be pressed with what to do with Diggs is 8. Okay. Diggs makes sense on this team, by the way. Let's do Diggs. Now the question is, okay, so I'm about to be on the clock at 88 and 105 is next. And Caleb's ADP is, oops. Oh no. Caleb's ADP is 107. So, okay, we'll push it. We'll push it with Caleb one more round. But I do need to probably start looking at. Somebody said Golden has a funny number. I do have 5 wide receivers through 7 rounds, 1 running back, and 1 tight end, George Kittle. I also could have done Pearsall, but I don't know what number Pearsall is. What number is Penix? Oh, Mooney's number 1. Penix 9. Okay, this works. We'll do Bears. Bears, make this a Bears Falcons team. Mooney is 1. And that means, am I missing it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, okay. And Caleb is 18 and Penix is 9. Okay, sweet. Sick. But anyway, Caleb is 18, you donkeys. Way to go, Benny. I was like, I didn't think Caleb was 1, but I'm so bad at it. I don't even know. I don't know. I can't. My bullshit detector is not relevant for jersey numbers, current modern day jersey numbers. That is for sure. But so I think it was a Sunday day game or whatever, and a couple buddies came with us, and we went like to Sunday fun day to bar for lunch and drinks and stuff before the basketball game. And I remember sitting there. We sat at the bar, and you got your phone out, you're checking other basketball scores or whatever. I think it was springtime, right? And I can't remember exactly. And you're just checking the news, scrolling Twitter or whatever, and you're like, a couple of us are doing the same thing and look at each other like, "Are you seeing this? Like, is this fake? Like, this can't be real, right?" They're like, "People are saying Kobe passed in a helicopter accident?" And you're like, "That can't be real, right?" And you just sit there and you're like I just couldn't believe it. And I remember getting home and like later that night, watching all the news and watching, the Sports Center and stuff, showing a lot of memories like of Kobe and talking about the family and all that kind of stuff. And it's fascinating because Benny says, "I didn't care for Kobe the person, but it's sad and very sad that the kids were involved too." I was not a Kobe fan. So like when he was playing, like I didn't like Kobe the player that much. Clearly Kobe the person made some transgressions that were not awesome, but I respected Kobe the athlete, and certainly Kobe the competitor is like a legend. You know what I mean? And he like was part of what was our generation of basketball. And I remember being shook by that one for sure, like big time shook by the Kobe thing. All right, Caleb comes back, dude. This we're having fun. Other than sad Kobe stories, but we're having fun. We get Caleb. We got our different numbers rolling here. Running back is going to get tricky, I think. Now I do need to map out this. I think we're also good with Penix. So it'll be pick 112 here, and 129 will be my next pick. Penix's ADP is, oh no, I'm going to have double quarterback bye. Don't tell the people. Yeah, this was me too, sitting in my living room, tearful over someone I didn't know and like hated on. like I was like, you would probably, if you had to classify me as something, you would probably classify me as a Kobe hater when he was playing. Like inefficient scorer, like blah 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 blah. I'm sure I said a lot of foolish things over the years about Kobe, but I wasn't like a huge fan. I'm more of a Bron guy. I love the guys who pass. Quite frankly, I'm not like the alpha scorer thing is cool, but I kind of like the guys that are a little bit more nuanced in their game and well rounded. Like Penny is my favorite player of all time. I really should have paid more attention here. Ooh, Judkins. What number's Dobbins wearing? 27? All right. Dobbins. 27. 27 seems all right, I think. I don't know what I don't have the slightest goddamn idea what jersey numbers anybody wears at running back. I have no idea. Yeah, Kobe courtside, 2002. It was almost like John Lennon in terms of shock value, Peppertoni says. And if you were a basketball fan at the time, it was just insane. Yeah, it's because it's like like a heart attack or something would be very, very sad. Like that wouldn't change anything. But just the full scale of everything that happened is nuts. Nash was way more fun than Kobe says who hates. I agree. Dude, the Suns, the Nash, Amari, Sean Marion, Quinn Richardson, Suns, like changed basketball. And at that time, if you thought what they were doing was like wizardry shit and not the Washington Wizards, like you thought it was nonsense. Like, why are they shooting so quickly? Why are they shooting all these threes? Why do they have a power forward starting at center? Why is Sean Marion a power forward? And then I would say the Suns, like Moneyball did in baseball, like various different things do in different sports, where you like a light bulb goes off about like strategy, or roster constructions or what data matters and all that different stuff, like where you feel like it just like changed your world. The Suns did that with me. And then to a lesser extent later on, the Rockets team that lost to the 73-win Warriors team in the conference finals, Harden, CP3, and those guys that played the small ball floor spacing offense. I remember getting into Twitter spats with other DFS bros back then I was just a DFS bro. And I remember getting into Twitter spats with people that thought like it'll never work. They don't have a center. You can't play PJ Tucker or Robert Covington at center and win. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I think it's genius. And it was genius. Mike D'Antoni, absolute true genius level basketball. Okay. Ooh, Javonte. So hold on. Where's Penix at? I gotta just take Penix. I just want to make sure. Number 9. Dude, this team rocks. Like, I'm not even kidding. This team is awesome. I know oh my God, week 5. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do in week 5? I don't know. But this team is awesome. I think Tajay has a funny number, doesn't he? Oh, fudge. Nope. Can't do Tajay because that's it's DJ Moore. I could do Javonte. I could double dip Rhamondre 38. Do I just handcuff? I could handcuff. Rashad White is number 1. Yucky. Oh. What's Tootin? 33. So Tootin would be fine. What's Ray Davis? 22. Okay. I don't mind the handcuff idea. Anytime you can handcuff the Patriots backfield, gotta do it. But specifically because number 38 is a important number in this experiment we got going here. Which, of course, if you're tuning in late, the wheel of rules today, we got an extreme 0 running back draft before. If you want to go back to the beginning and watch a Puppy 2 draft where I put together an extreme 0 running back team, which was fun, a lot of fun. This rule is that I cannot draft every player has to have a unique jersey number. So no 2 players can have the same jersey number on this team, which has led to a fun-ass team. I'll be honest with you. Fun team. Luckily, Rhamondre with a genius and fun to watch 0 actual playoff success. For Mike D'Antoni, they were the only team that almost beat the 73-win Warriors. Like having 0 playoff success, like he never won a title, but they had playoff success. Sometimes you're like when you run up against a dynasty, that doesn't mean that you were bad. Yeah, almost. Like, what's the point? Like, that doesn't mean you're bad. Like Lamar hasn't won in the playoffs. Does that mean Lamar's only fun and irrelevant? See, I just don't view I don't view sports in like the rings culture thing. Like I just don't. I'm never going to agree that the only thing that matters is rings. The way you play and who you play against. Like, it's a salary cap era. You don't get to just do whatever you want on a basketball floor. You have to make the best of what you can do. You don't get to choose. Like Mike D'Antoni doesn't get to just choose exceeding expectations, outperforming is just as important as winning titles. When you're running up against the best basketball team of all time, not winning the title just because you weren't the best basketball team of all time is that doesn't matter. I'm not. No one's saying he's the best coach of all time, but saying having it binary be, oh well, you didn't win a title, so you're irrelevant. It's just I'm never gonna get behind that. Did Pistol Pete matter? Did Charles Barkley matter? Did Dan Marino matter? Yeah, of course all those guys. Of course all those guys matter. Oh, tons of people copied the space and pace. Do you watch basketball now? It's all space, pace, pick and roll, drive and kick. That's Mike D'Antoni. That's what he did. It's literally what modern basketball is. But yeah, he didn't have LeBron James. He didn't have Steph Curry. He didn't coach the Warriors, and he didn't coach the Spurs. So what the fuck is he going to do? It's not his fault. Garendo, 31, not bad. Correlates with George Kittle. Correlates with that game. I think we're going to do Garendo. Double check. 31. Dude, this team rocks. I can't believe you can make. Well, I can make one of my favorite teams yet by not crossing over jersey numbers. This is pretty sick. I think Algier is 25. It's sad that I know what number Tyler Algier is. Quite sad. I will not do Kyle Pitts. What number is he? 8? I don't think I can do 8, right? Yeah. Who did I draft that's number 8? Who did I draft that's number 8? Diggs. Diggs is number 8. Learned that today. If anybody's curious. Damn it. There goes Algier. Shit. What's Bigsby? I also have 104. I guess that's okay, but it's not my favorite thing. What about Brenton Strange? 80. Of course, you can't take Brenton Strange. Remember that for your own draft. 22. Did I do 22 already? No. Dylan Sampson, come on down. 22. Nice. It's beautiful. Yeah, and I'm not saying the championships don't matter. Of course they matter. Of course they matter. But there's what did we say earlier? Everything is, it depends. If you boil everything down to championships, you're missing so much context. Just if you boil anything down to, you have to take, if you don't take 3 tight ends, you're gonna lose. It's no, nuance in all aspects of life, including best ball, including real sports. Nuance and context matter. It's why I like my favorite college basketball podcast is called the 3-Man Weave. If you're into college basketball, this is the best college basketball podcast that you can subscribe to. Shout out to those guys. Also St. Louis boys, but that's neither here nor there. They talk about how they rank coaches and how most people rank coaches, again, in college sports also, is did you ever win a title? And if you didn't, who cares? Doesn't matter how many times you were a 1 seed. Doesn't matter how many times you won the conference or whatever. If you didn't win a national championship, it doesn't matter. And how they'll talk about it is, what is the general expectation for your team? Are you coaching Duke? Okay, your expectations are different. Are you coaching St. Louis University? Are you coaching Kansas State? Or are you coaching Kansas? Right? The expectations are different. So how do you perform to those expectations? What kind of roster do you put together? And then do you perform to that roster's overall talent and stuff? Yeah, I'm talking about changing basketball and what he did with the Houston Rockets. So I think you need to go back and look at a lot of people's careers if you think titles are the only ones that matter. So we can agree to disagree on the framing. I think he changed that was I think that was my point. He's a legend, because he changed basketball, I think was like generally what I said. But before, someone can correct me if I'm wrong. That was the thesis. No one was playing small ball, pace and space, pick and roll, shoot threes, drive and kick until Mike D'Antoni. Like it's like known, him and his brother. No one said they're like the world's best coaches, but they changed the sport for the better because everybody follows what they do. But taking a Rockets team with Robert Covington and PJ Tucker and who am I all missing? The role players that they all had on that team, Jeff Green and such, and no one thought you could win with James Harden, and turning that into a team that nearly knocked out the 73 win, like the best team of all time in basketball, had them beat in a game 7. And that's like a disappointment. Like, I'm just never going to say that it was a full disappointment. Yeah, this is actually a good one. Benny says Aaron Rodgers is an all-time great, but he has 1 ring because he overlapped with Brady, Mahomes, Manning, all these other guys. Aaron Rodgers is definitely an all-time great. Let's see. 88. I do love Gesicki. No, not quarterback. Okay, Shipley's gone, so who cares? Okay. Mike Gesicki it is to close out tight end. 88. Right, that's 15. We're almost there. Yeah. Yeah. This is a different James Harden. This is MVP level team. James Harden. Who still wasn't even like a top. LeBron existed, KD existed, Steph existed. Crazy times. Yeah, I remember sitting. Double Minor says if they didn't shoot, they missed every what did it was like 19 in a row. I'll screw up the number. They missed like 19 threes in a row and still were in the game. That's crazy. How about my first Jerome Ford share and bet against this Judkins thing with Sampson and Ford? I kind of like that. Let's do that. All right. What the hell number is he? 34? 34. All right. Let's run down the team. It's weird. Through 16 picks, I cannot draft the same jersey number twice. Nico Collins is 12. Let's see if I can remember him. Nico Collins is 12. Drake London is 5. George Kittle is 85. DJ Moore is 2. TreVeyon is 32. 32. Rome is 15. Okay. I learned that Ladd is 15 as well. Diggs is 8. Mooney is 1. Caleb is 18. J.K. Dobbins is 27. I just wanted to double check he didn't change numbers. Michael Penix is 9. Rhamondre is 38. Garendo is 31. Dylan Sampson, 32? 22. Sampson is 22. Gesicki is 88. And Jerome Ford is 34. A lot of 8s. 8s and 3s. 8s and 3s. Yeah, that is funny. Yeah, there you go. Rings are all that matters. Eli Manning. Let's go. It is. Eli Manning should be in the Hall of Mid. Like, truly, for his career, relative to other great quarterbacks, he's mid as hell. He was not anything special, but he won some championships and also beat one of the best. So I think Eli exceeded expectations, but his overall career that's a solid comp for Mike D'Antoni. He had a moment. He had a sport changing run, but overall it was is Eli really one of the best quarterbacks of all time? No, just like Mike D'Antoni is not one of the best coaches of all time, but he changed the sport. Now Eli didn't necessarily change the sport, but kinda. To beat the Patriots those Patriots. Yeah, FF Doom was at the Super Bowl as a Patriots fan watching that. I can't even imagine. I'd respect them a lot if they kept Eli and Ben out of the Hall, personally, says Benny. I agree. They're not Hall of Famers. I don't know. And I guess maybe they are by whatever bullshit precedent we've now set for the Hall of Fame. But when the hell did the Hall of Fame just become, anybody who won some championships or anybody who had a great career? Like, at what point do you have to, like, actually have been incredible? Ooh, do I have 10? Dante Thornton looks good here. What's Jarquez? Ooh. 35 is too good of a number to pass on, I think, here. And by too good, I mean, I can't believe Jarquez Hunter is wearing 35 and I'm moving him down my rankings now, because that is a trash-ass scrub junior varsity number. But I think he's necessary for this team. I am probably going to lose out on Dante Thornton now, though. Yeah, there he goes. I believe that's, so I'm gonna turn this into a little 2882 team here. So what's Keaton got a fun number? 34. No, have I used 34 already? Shit, yes. What about Taj? 25? Nope, can't use it. Fuck. What about Brashard? Please, Brashard, save me. 30. Got one. Well, 2882 team. We're done at running back. Rashard Smith, 30. Who the hell else did I just draft that I forgot to put in the notes? Jarquez Hunter, 35. What in the absolute fuck is Jarquez Hunter doing wearing number 35? Do they not have any other options? That's ridiculous. Yeah, this is a good take. Devin says Eli is in the hall of exceeded expectations. Our expectations were low for you, and you exceeded them. Good job, Eli. You're going to buy a number 35 jersey when he beats out Kyron for the job. Yeah, that would be, if he did beat him out, I think that would warrant a jersey number purchase, considering the bags and bags of Jarquez Hunter I have. Another good take. The chat's on fire today. Another good take. Even though Cullen is out here slandering my guy, my coach. We love you, Cullen. We're having a good time on this Thursday morning. But the chat's on fire today. The internet became more prevalent, and voters didn't want to be. You don't want because people know who you voted for, and people know you're a voter. People know, what's going on now at their fingertips at all times with their phones. People are cowards, and the whole world only cares about championships, not actual greatness. And I don't mean those guys weren't great. Of course they were great. I guess the way I perceive the Hall of Fame is like the best of the best to ever play the sport is like how I think about the Hall of Fame. And I'm just like, winning 2 titles doesn't make you one of the best players to ever play your sport. It means you won 2 titles, which could mean that you're great, but it doesn't mean you're the best. Was Eli Manning ever a top 3 quarterback in the league when he was ever playing? Was Eli Manning ever, like a guy that the whole world was like, oh man, the Giants are locked into being one of the best teams because they have Eli Manning? I should have done more planning here at wide receiver because the shit is all screwed up here. I want to try to get the... Do I have 17 available? Yes, I do. I took one like really like silly little thing I like to do at the back part of drafts is if I do, you can without even having the quarterbacks, you can backstack Broncos Chiefs in week 17. There's Broncos receivers available back here, and there's several Chiefs available. Jalen Royals being one of, if not my favorite wide receiver that's available back here. And We just took Brashard Smith. If you like Eli Mitchell, he's available back here. So I'm gonna. That's one of my favorite little back stacks to do. 11. Do I have 11? 11 going once. 11 going once. Yeah, I feel like a fucking auctioneer. What number is Royals wearing? 11. Look at that. I got 11 open, and I can take either Jalen Royals or Troy Franklin. But there's a little fun little cheat. If you enjoy Week 17 correlations, and if you enjoy any of these players, you can always backstack a correlation of Broncos and Chiefs in any draft. And I actually like all of those guys. So you and me both. I have bags. Huhaim's not feeling so great about all right, Franklin or Royals. You guys know me quite well. I do a lot of Jalen Royals, and I'm pretty sure he's the correct pick here, even though I have a lot of him, including on these teams. But we're going to do Jalen Royals, number 11. Boom. Mission accomplished. All the different jersey numbers. Done. Bang. Boom. He did introduce a fun offense, but his defense was just as bad as his offense. So it's yeah, well, on some teams, that Rockets team defense was not bad. They were one of the best in the league. That was part of why he became better and why he changed the sport. Is going to the small ball allowed them to switch everything on defense, and then he also, once he got PJ Tucker right, he was able to shield Harden a little bit with a bunch of other guys who could play. And shield the likes of Ryan Anderson, who couldn't touch the floor in modern basketball because he had other good defenders. CP3 was a good defender. Then Rocco and PJ Tucker. But he introduced like switching 1 through 5. So like he changed defense too. The whole going small and switching everything was not a thing. But they did it. They were like, we're going to force the other team into isolation at all time. Right? He modernized defense too. In part because he modernized offense, and the trickle down effect was, well, if we're going to go small, we can't just stay home and let people cook us in the pick and roll. Let's switch. We're going to switch everything, force them into isolation, help, collapse, right? Get out to shooters, all that kind of stuff. He changed basketball on defense too. All right, let's stay and run this down. The rule, of course, for today's draft was if you draft a player, you cannot draft another player who wears the same jersey number as him. Really quickly, before we do this, remember, if you leave a comment on this video or any other Spike Week video tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, when I draft a couple more teams here live on this channel, you will be entered to win one of 3. I'm giving away 3 tickets to the Drafters main event at the end of the show tomorrow. If you drop a comment, everybody who's commented already, I got you in the sheet. So you're ready to go. If you leave a comment on today's video, yesterday's video, you'll be entered to win. Give a take about rings culture, Kobe Bryant, Mike D'Antoni, or player jersey numbers. Leave a take for any of this. 0 running back. Drop it in the comments, and you will be entered. I will put your username into the entry to win one of the 3 free tickets to the Drafters $20 main event, which of course is $500,000 to first place. 1 entry per person. You can leave as many comments as you would like on the video, of course, but one entry per if you comment on both of the videos, I'll give you 2 entries. Deal? How about that? Comment on yesterday's video, comment on today's, you get 2. Get double dip. Yeah, first one to figure out the reads are worth more than 2. Isn't that funny how that works? This is a good take. Jordan lovers hate LeBron while LeBron lovers are okay with Jordan. There's a fascinating psychology to that. Get ready for more 30s and 40s numbers. All right, deal. Nico Collins out of the 109. Again, I like this team. This team fucking rocks. Try this one. Try this exercise out on your own. This one was fun and built a team that I love. Nico Collins, Drake London, George Kittle, DJ Moore, TreVeyon, Henderson, Odunze, Stefon Diggs, Darnell, Mooney, Caleb Williams. Got the Bear stack. Got a little Caleb. I don't even know if I have that stack yet in the DK Milly. Caleb, DJ Moore, Odunze. Seems like a myth. J.K. Dobbins, love it. Michael Penix, obviously have London and Mooney. Rhamondre, Garendo, Dylan Sampson, Mike Gesicki, Jerome Ford, Jarquez Hunter, who I learned today is wearing number 35, and I'm shook about the bags of Jarquez Hunter that I have now at number 35. Absolutely unacceptable. Brashard Smith, Devon Vele, and Jalen Royals. Very, very fun. Very, very fun team. Remember, drop a comment, get entered for a free, get entered to win a free ticket tomorrow. So join me tomorrow. You do not have to be present to win the ticket tomorrow. We'll link up in some form or fashion and get you your free ticket. But join me tomorrow. We'll kick off the essentially the weekend on Friday and draft some more best ball teams. We'll hop in on drafters tomorrow and probably do a little bit more DK. Maybe we'll hit all three sites tomorrow. How about that? We'll hit three. We'll hit Underdog, Drafters, and DraftKings tomorrow. So come hang out. Maybe win some free tickets tomorrow and draft some more winners. Draft some more winners here at Spike Week. Everybody have a great Thursday. I'll see you. Peace.
Woo! Those were some spicy takes. Want to stay up to date with all of the other spicy takes we're going to have over here at Spike Week? Why don't you press that subscribe button below? You turn notifications on, we draft a team, boom, you know about it. We have another spicy take, boom, you know about it. You can be there. You can draft with us. You want to stay up to date? That's how you do it. All right, we'll catch you later next time here at Spike Week.